morning. It's 10 a.m. and we are live and talking to Norbert Bisky as part of our 10 a.m. series. Norbert is a painter living in Berlin, originally born in Leipzig, and working with the gallery for quite some time. And we had 2 solo exhibitions, if I remember right. And just now, about 2 weeks ago, his show went down in Villa Schöningen, as well as in the St. Matthäus Church in here in Berlin on Potsdamer Platz. And let's see if we find him. He has a pretty point about his exhibition in Paris, because he just opened an exhibition just before the lockdown. Hey, Norbert, good morning. Happy Easter.
Hey, Johan, how are you? Good morning.
Good, and you?
I'm fine. Happy Easter Sunday.
Did I force you to be in the studio today?
Yes, you did.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm very sorry for that.
but it's okay. What else should I do?
But you do spend a lot of time in the studio, right?
Basically all my life.
That's what I meant, yeah.
I mean, a lot of hours. I wanted to use this beautiful weather and the beautiful days now to go out and maybe go to a club or a pub, but well, we all know that story.
Yeah. I was just talking about that you had an exhibition in that you opened an exhibition in Paris.
Yes.
And that was really like you said you were the last on everything. You were the last exhibition to open. You were the last guest in the hotel. You were the last plane leaving Paris. Can you tell us about this experience and what happened, how it was?
Yeah, well, it's crazy because it's a show about Berlin and the clubbing scene here in Berlin and topics that I'm busy with, which is like big city life, living in a big city, and a lot of party culture that we have here. So the crazy thing is, what I didn't know, hanging the show, this kind of lifestyle just disappeared completely. The very same evening, Monsieur Macron held a speech on TV saying everything's going to be closed from right on. So from midnight on, all the bars and restaurants should be closed. So we were, there's always a dinner after an opening. So the people who joined the opening, we were the last ones in the restaurant. The next day, I checked out pretty late at the reception of the hotel, and the guy at the reception told me, hey, good that you're leaving. I'm closing the hotel now. And that was really crazy. I never had an experience like this before, but yeah, we all know for what reason.
And how was it for you now? Because your show was exactly only at Galerie Dorian Templon, and your show was only opening for the opening. It has been closed since.
Yeah, it was open for it was up for a few hours from noon until 7 or 8 in the afternoon. Yeah.
And how has it? I mean, how is it for you that because also you are a painter, you paint with oil. It takes long. It's a very lonely practice. And now
it is, yes.
Yeah, and now, I mean, you paint you make your works to get it seen, right? I mean, is this very painful that it's not been seen, or do you say, okay, this will be over, and then it will be seen?
Well, I'm quite happy with the outcome of the show. So I think it's I'm really happy with it. So it looks good in the space. I was thinking a lot about how to use the walls there. I printed out some tiles from the Berlin Alexanderplatz that I also painted in here. I can show you later.
Can you show us? Yeah.
And yeah, it's like, these. Well, let me.
There's a button on the upper left. You can flip the camera.
Yeah. Yes. Well, maybe like this. No, this way. So you can see these are tiles from the Berlin Alexanderplatz, and it's really I mean, I took some photos with my smartphone,
Yeah.
and then I just, yeah, well, maybe can you see it here better?
Yeah, yeah. Is
Yeah.
it which Haus des Lehrers? No.
No, it's the underground of Alexanderplatz.
Oh yes, this turquoise this
Yeah,
turquoise colored subway stop. Yeah.
and it's really
Very
beautiful.
narrow, huh? Not very
Yeah,
high.
yeah, yeah. So, and it's really beautiful, and I just made a wallpaper in that show in Paris out of it, and I still got paintings here busy with the same pattern of tiles. So it's all somehow connected. Well, of course, I'm sad that nobody sees it, but I understand the reason why. I mean, who would be I to say, well, I mean, I'm not that selfish, you know.
And how do you feel about this this very common sense agreement, or this immediate, because you were born in the GDR and grew up in that environment and has a, how would I say, full conscious remembrance of how it is to be in a totalitarian society. And of course, I don't want to make any comparison, but I find it pretty surprising how common sense we all are accepting that our libertarian freedom rights have been cut, of course for good reason, but still I find it interesting how little controversy there is.
I'm pretty sure the controversy will come up next week at some point. Yeah, it feels a little. Some things remind me of my early youth, where you just could travel in your imagination, so you could not travel anywhere. So it's kind of a sad atmosphere for a big city like Berlin, what we have right now. So there is a city, but also the city is not there. And what I find very interesting, that we all can see how quick societies are changing. I mean, out of the blue.
Within a blink, huh?
Yeah. It's really a crazy experience. But on the other way, maybe it's good for us to understand, because all our ancestors had the same situation. So we are the only ones who think, well, for us it should be stable and balanced and good and peace all the time. Maybe not.
You mean it's good that we are aware of how quick it can change, also like in more troubling ways than it is
of course,
now?
Yeah.
Now, of course, everybody understands also, but even if there would be disagreement. And can we have another
sure
quick look around your studio, because it looked
there are just a few. Can you see it well?
Yeah.
Few elements, like for instance, yesterday, this is like a painting that I started a long time ago, like a few months ago, and this is the supermarket chain from East Germany, Kaufhalle. Part of it says Kaufhalle. And then I didn't know what to do with it. Then I just put the guy here onto the painting. And yesterday I just added the red. The problem is the red is still wet, so I just have to wait. Well,
that's always, it's a lot of waiting, right? You spend.
Well, for not having to wait, I just work on different things, and painting. I mean, otherwise I would just sit around all the time. So,
but it's interesting that you introduced typography now in the work. That's pretty new, no?
That's pretty new. I mean, well, you know, I just. I mean, basically, I work with my visual language for quite some years now, but I try to introduce new stuff into it. So like the tiles in here, or some, you know, this painting, for instance. I don't know what's going to come out of it. And then I just started to work with the pattern of Berlin. This is like everybody who's
BVG,
been,
right?
Yes, the public transport of Berlin has these very ugly anti-graffiti pattern
Do you think it's ugly? I think it's really beautiful.
I think it's just totally ugly.
I think it has this fantastic, funny camouflage, and that I have a trouser, swimming pool trousers.
Yeah, yeah, the trousers
pattern.
are cool.
Yeah, they have this entire merchandise line of BVG.
Yeah, but it's really hard. I mean, I just work on different paintings with these pattern, and it's really not so easy to paint next to this pattern.
Of course, yeah, because so.
Here's
these
more.
are the shows from Villa Schöning, no? The painting.
There's just one left that I'm still working on. It's
know,
it has a red cord.
Yeah.
And so I'm just trying to figure out how to continue.
This is someone who's escaping the GDR?
Well, I don't know.
Just my interpretation?
Maybe. Well, I don't know. He's just moving. And these
are this one is a clock?
Yeah, that's a Hebrew clock from Talmud school. And
with mirror.
Yeah, I just started. Well, let me show you this in here. I just started to work with a lot of collage and cutout stuff. You see, just it's. So I have the stuff on the floor, and then I just glue different parts onto mirror, and it's something very playful, and I really enjoyed doing it. So it starts like this. Now you see me. That's not so important. So, or like this, and then so this is a bit more finished. So I just glue all little oil painted canvas on another oil painted canvas on mirror, and I like it very much. That's probably the kind of the newest thing that I'm doing.
And how what comes first? First you paint a base image and then you add to it?
No, well, as you can see here, there's no rule.
Okay.
You see, so there is sometimes it starts with a yellow dot.
Is this a protest? This is a protest demonstrant or like a.
This guy, you mean?
Yeah.
I have no idea yet what to do with this guy. I'm just still busy with connecting the colors in the background, and it started with an image of a dancing guy, but now he's not dancing anymore. He's protesting. I don't know why. These are things that are happening all the time.
And this kind of an invented logo?
Yeah, that's totally invented. It doesn't
exist.
It doesn't exist. So, yeah.
Wow.
And then I just the other way. I just do like these works oil on paper.
Oh, beautiful.
You see, I mean, it also sometimes takes a long time because you just have to put a lot of layers onto it. And yeah, well.
And we just here, I mean, this is a print we did with Edition König, but it's based on a painting. And the painting in original is way smaller. And I wonder how do you work? You do first the face, and then you kind of work over it, or what's the process? And some of it is done with your finger, right? You like smoosh it.
Yeah. I mean, first I start with most of the time I just in that cases I start with a photography image. So I paint. I just take it out of a magazine or wherever. So I just paint the face. Yeah. But if you just lose the context, it's not the stupid commercial for an ugly brand anymore. It's just the face. Yeah. And then it has to, after it's totally clear, intact, and cool, then I just start to destroy it with my hands or with Q-tips in here, or like with all with my fingerprints, with a lot of different elements I just destroyed.
And you also just like was a like.
Yeah, it's as you can see here. I don't know. Is it possible to see it?
Yeah.
I just put yellow spots here yesterday.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just lay it on the floor, and then I just throw.
That's a DJ?
With a brush. That's a DJ. Yeah. Yeah. I'm still not very happy with the DJ, but it will come out.
But your figures are sometimes they are like you did a portrait of in this what's his name now, of the young leader of the SPD Social Democrats,
Kevin
Kühnert, exactly.
Yeah.
But this is not a concrete person, right?
No. I mean, probably. I mean, again, it was there's an image as a starting point, which is probably I totally forgot about it. So it's a stupid commercial. I mean, we are all surrounded by so many images, so somehow it comes from somewhere, but it's not a person that I know.
Yeah. And the DJ also is a figure of a DJ and not
it's not a person that I know. I know a lot of DJs, but they have a hard time these days. But this is not a friend of mine.
And this series here, it's of these. Would you call it a series of these faces which are then getting worked over? Because this one here, which is the cover of our first magazine, it's a different approach, right?
Yes, I mean, I painted so many faces. I'm fascinated by painting faces. There's this fabulous story by Oscar Wilde, Dorian Gray, which just says the painting's gonna grow older and the person's gonna stay the same. So that's a fascinating idea. So somehow there are a few movies, like Dorian Gray movies, but the paintings in the movies look totally ugly. So I'm still working on a good Dorian Gray version, and probably all those paintings are Dorian Gray paintings.
Yeah,
in a way.
And then I would like to talk to you also about this painting here, which I find it's very beautiful, but it's kind of special painting, and I wonder.
Oh yeah, this one, yeah.
And it's interesting because it's kind of an untypical painting, but at the same time it feels very typical also. What do we see here?
We see a party. We see a group of people having a party, probably dancing or throwing stuff.
Okay.
And there are a lot of parties like this. There's, I have my second home in Spain, and in Spain there's a famous party called Tomatina, where people throw tomatoes onto each other. It's a big thing. I mean, it's probably super fun, but it's a big thing.
Tomato remark somehow.
Well, it could be the tomatoes.
Eventually.
It could be tomatoes, or it's something else. I don't know, but
okay.
I grew up with all these big manifestations of a lot of people for the 1st of May or sport events. So I'm fascinated by images of big groups of people, and it's always hard to decide whether they have a party or they are fighting for something or they have a manifestation. So it's all in between, and I like that.
Yeah, interesting here. I find is that you can still recognize it as a Bisky, but you kind of left your regular palette.
Yeah, this one has it has a perfect canvas,
Yeah.
I mean, because I think it's something like that Francis Bacon invented, or he just came up with it. So it's a primed canvas, but it's stretched the wrong way. So the primed side of the canvas is facing the wall.
Interesting.
And that's why it has a very special structure. The
surface.
The surface.
Yeah. Interesting. And you just mentioned it a little bit about these sport festivities. We were planning, I mean, we're still planning an exhibition in the König Tokyo space for, I mean, we were planning it for the Olympics. Now the Olympics are moved. We're still going to do the show. You think?
Yes.
So, will this have any impact on the work?
Well, I show you. This is this is your space in Tokyo.
Yeah.
So the first impact that it has, somehow it's a strange coincidence, because there's it's a funny model. Just to give you an idea, everybody works with models. So this time we just as I cannot go to a copy shop, I just have a black and white printer here. So I'm just using black and white photos for the model. It's it's a funny coincidence. No, I'm totally up for Tokyo. Come on. I mean, it's going to be July, so hopefully by then.
No, we're going to do it.
Yeah, we're going to do it. Yes.
I just thought, because maybe I find an image, probably it's not in this book, of these, because you did these sporting, how's it called? Jugend.
You mean the sports games? Like the Spartakiade or whatever? I don't know.
Exactly,
yeah, I did that in my very early works, because, you know, I grew up in Leipzig, and in Leipzig you have a very famous sports school. And you have the Ton- und Sportfest, which is like gymnastics party festivities with it looks a bit like China, so a lot of people doing images out of like changing their t-shirt or whatever, you know, so you have a big slogan,
and making choreography.
It's very it's very intriguing seeing it.
Yeah.
And I saw it when I was 8 years old boy. So, yeah.
Yeah, super. I think there's some questions here. There's a nice comment, at least, also good to hear, regarding our magazine. The magazine, and then...
Yes, it's a cool magazine, yes.
Does he use any models of photos?
Yeah, I use both. I mean, photos are a very cool starting point for painting. At least as long as photography exists, painters used it immediately, right away. And I also do, because it's a question of going quick, and I'm not so patient as the oil color is. So yes, I do. And in earlier years, I just worked a lot with models, putting them in the studio, saying, hey, you should lift your hand that way, or put the feet the other way around. So, but it's very complicated. And these days, I don't work with models anymore, because it's easy to find an image of what I need.
And then the Paris show, it's online. If the Paris show is online, I think so.
Yes, it's online. Yeah. It's a pity, because we just put a lot of interesting stuff, like rubber curtains that you would find in Berlin clubs. So somehow in May it's going to be open again, the show, and then you should, if you have the chance to be in Paris, you should go and at least, I mean, skip the paintings, but touch the rubber curtain. It's really interesting.
This is a good one. Why is it mostly young men, Norbert? But isn't that here you have a family? You have like a...
Yeah, I mean, there are so many women and family in my paintings, but most of the time there are young men, because it's for me more common. It's the I'm a gay man. That's the world that I'm busy with. So I don't want to hide it. You know, I don't want to hide my obsessions.
Mm-hmm.
And also I feel quite free with it, you know, like I have no problem to cut off the head of a man, but probably it would be something else if I cut off the head of a woman in a painting. At least I feel so.
Mm-hmm. Then what about the BB Blocksberg magazine? That's it, my daughter's magazine.
Well, that's a question you should answer.
That's my private, you know, where really my heart beats.
Okay.
Oh, that's a good one. Have you done sculptures or video art?
Yeah, I've done one video in my second semester at art school, and it's still not finished. So I'm still in the cutting process. So that's when it comes to video and sculptures. I did some sculptures that are more related to installations. So I did a big installation at Berghain 10 years ago. Or a few, like 7-8 years ago, there was a big party, 10 years of Berghain. So I made a big installation there out of clothes. But I guess most of the time I'm a painter.
And what I like this question. What inspired the move to collages, like the mirror collages you're working on now?
Yeah, well, first I started to combine different images from different resources on canvas. Then I one day decided to cut out a certain piece of canvas to glue it on another piece of canvas. And so it's like it's a thing that comes really out of the process. So I ended up with these mirrors. I always want to do it. Let me show you. Like these mirrors are just put on. It's like the mirror, right? And you have it put on like the normal stretcher that paintings would look like, right? Like let me check. Like that's how it looks from the backside. You know, it's like a normal stretcher, and there's just the mirror on top of it. And it's I don't know. It's I had to look for a way how to glue the canvas on the mirror, and I talked to a friend who really has an exact idea about it, because she's working in a restoration business. And so once I got the way how to glue it, I'm just totally in love with it. You know, like putting these things onto each other. It's so playful. I feel like a little kid. I love it. It really goes with my heart.
And to the work on cardboard, are your works on paper? Are your works on paper used as studies for paintings, or are they standalones?
They stand alone. They stand alone.
They never reappear as a painting, right?
Sometimes they do, yeah. And a lot of like I first started in the work on paper. I just started to use the oil paint in a very thin way, like very well liquid. So now I do the same thing on the canvas. So things reappear on the canvas, but it's not like a study, and then so it's not like the way without being brave, saying, oh, I just have to try it out in a small version, and then if it works, I will go step by step to a bigger format. I don't work like this. I just try to do the things right in time. Like, let's put the thing on the canvas or on the paper, but of course there are always connections between the different types of works.
Is your artwork influenced by political situation or more from your individual I don't know. Can't see the final.
I think that's it's a good question, but we all believe that we are so individuals and so unique. Especially artists believe that, and of course we are. But I mean, my biography is really typical for being moved around by different political situations. What we all experience right now, that somewhere something happened, the virus came up and it influences all our life, it changes all our life. It happened to me a few times before. So growing up in East Germany, experienced the wall coming down. So somehow I just have to include political ideas in my paintings because I feel like pushed around by politics all the time. Yeah, because I don't have a quiet life in the countryside with no influence from outside.
What do you associate with camouflage? Maybe it's interesting to explain a bit more about the BVG camouflage.
Yeah, well, it's the interesting thing is like it's a city camouflage. It's the idea of making yourself invisible in a big city. And the fascinating thing about Berlin is you can come here, arrive in the city, and decide to become a Berliner. It's different with other cities. So you can decide, I go there, I start a new life there. I start a new life in the big city, Berlin. And somehow you also could decide I make myself invisible in the bigger structure. And I like that idea, and that's how I just came up with using it. And
but
the other thing is, pardon?
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, and the other thing is like I like it that it's a pattern. Let's show it again. Like this pattern is made for preventing graffiti. It's like making it impossible to tack on top of it, or making it difficult to tack on top of it. So I like that I have to fight against it in a way.
Yeah, exactly. So, I don't know. I think we saw a lot, but how do you feel about showing us unfinished paintings?
Can we? Well, I don't like it.
Okay, then that's what.
No. Of course. Like more unfinished paintings. I don't like it, but I do. Just especially for you, because we all have hard time these days. And
exactly.
Happy Easter to everyone. No, I don't
Happy
like
Easter.
it because you know I'm very sensitive when it comes to unfinished works because
but
sometimes
they seem pretty finished, no? These are finished, no?
What? Yeah, these two I guess are pretty finished. Yeah.
Then let's look at them.
Yeah. Yeah, sometimes you know there's the guy who's showing the postman comes here and he says, well, there's some green missing in the corner, don't you think so? So I'm very sensitive.
And then yes, you can't get it out of your head, I guess, right?
Totally. I mean I respond to it. Yeah,
of course. So he kind of looks in and gives you feedback.
Yeah, he gives me feedback all the time. He's a cool guy, but
so but Norbert, can we have a look again at these small collages, because I wonder, you kind of limited to scale there, right? You can't really go much bigger, or is it also possible to?
I could go much bigger, but I mean this is like this is a 1 meter size.
It's already quite high.
Yeah, it's 1 meter. It's not that small. I could go bigger, but I'm with the mirror. It's like they're heavy. First, I have to produce them. These days, it's impossible to produce new ones because the shops are closed. So,
is it on board or is it on canvas?
I mean, well, there's the stretcher, the wooden stretcher. Then there's a mirror. And then there's canvas on top of it.
But because you don't need to. It's still holding up on canvas. You don't need MDF or something behind the canvas.
No. No, it's a very special technique that I'm very happy that we discovered a way, and we tested a lot, and so it stays there. So
Yeah,
it's there and it stays, and it's just very pure. It's the mirror and the canvas.
perfect. All the best to Norbert and König Galerie. Thank you very much. All the best to all of you. Norbert, thank you so much for doing this. And
thanks for having me, Johan.
And everybody check out Norbert's show at Galerie Templon, and then ours in Japan, probably in, when is it? In July, right?
July, yeah.
July. Thank you very much, and happy Easter.
Happy Easter to all of you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Oh, and I forgot, actually. We have this König souvenir by Norbert Bisky available in our online shop, as well as all the books and the magazine. And at Edition König released today this limited edition print. The painting is originally like a quarter, and then Norbert enlarged it. It's signed on the front. And yeah, I think that's it. Happy Easter, everybody, and stay safe. Hey, Carolyn.
Hi. How are you this morning? Good. Happy Easter.
Same to you.
Is it weird in Berlin?
Sorry?
Is it strange in Berlin?
Actually, no. In Berlin, it's pretty good. We have